Trend betting is the latest buzzword at the craps table. What exactly is trend betting and how do you do it? Hey, my name is Joe and this is my Craps Master journey. Let's make it yours too. So as part of the Level Up program, we go through a thing called trend betting. And this is a kind of a shooter-based betting system. So that way you can actually increase the amount of money on the table according to how the shooter throws the dice. So in other words, a skilled shooter is going to be more than likely hitting certain numbers more often than not. So starting off with a 6 and 8, and let's assume that this is an $18 table. So $15 table. We're going to start off with $18 on that 6. This is going to be your first level in the trend betting. Let's say they hit that at 6, that pays out, obviously it's going to pay out $21, but I'm not worried about what it pays out right now. In this video, I want to show you what the next progression is. So we're going to make that $18 on the table there look like $30. So it would go from 18 to 30. The next level in trend betting is to go from $30 to $42. So we're going to make that look like $42. So that would be our next bet level. The rest of the money we would bring back to the rack. So that $42 bet obviously pays out $50 for one or $49. But we would make that $42 bet look like $66. And that $66 bet on the 6 obviously pays out $77. But we would, after that, make that 66 look like $90. Okay, that $90 would obviously pay out $105. But we would go from 90 now to make it look like 120. And then we'd bring the rest of it back to our rack. Okay, so that's the first tier level of the Craps Master Journey trend betting. So we'd go from 18 to 30 to 42 to 66 to 90 to 120. Now, all we do is we start repeating tier 1, but this is called tier 2 now. Tier 2, all we do is we add a 0 to the end of the number. So remember, our first bet on tier 1 is 18. We're going to add a 0, so that's going to be $180. So this $120 bet here pays out $140. Okay, we're going to make this 120 here look like $180. So I'm just going to throw in some extra chips here so we can get to 180 a little bit easier. We'd bring, obviously, the rest of this back to our rack. That $180 pays out $210, obviously. But let's say that we go from 180. Remember, our next level on the tier 1 was 30, 18 to 30. So we're going to go 180 to 300. We're just adding that 0 in. So we're going to make that look like 300. That 300 is obviously going to pay out $350, but if that 300 wins, our next bet level is going to be $420. Okay, now here's where we run into a little bit of a snag. My local casino has a max table bet of $500. So on the 6 and 8, the maximum I could put out there is actually $504 because that makes it a proper bet. So $504 is what our next level would be on. After that 500 mark, let's say their table max is say 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever. We can continue back onto our trend betting. So from 504, remember our last one before 504 was 420. So 442 went to 66, remember that? So on our table, we go 420 to 504 to $660. So that's our next level bet, $660. That $660 pays out, and obviously pays out $770. We're going to go from $660 to $900. So we would make that bet look like $900 on here. Okay. If that 900 wins, remember before we went from 90 to 120, so we're going to go from 900 to 1200 now. So that would be our next level bet. And every time we do this now, we're actually pressing our bets up, but we're also bringing some money back to the rack. Let's clean this up really quick and let's go through the next set of numbers. Okay, so the next set of numbers is going to be the 5 and a 9. Remember, we're on a $15 table. So we're going to go with a $15 5. And if that $15 5 hits, obviously it pays out $21. But our next level is going to be actually making it look like a quarter. So we go from 15 to 25. If that $25 5 hits, that obviously pays out $35. 5. But we're going to go from 25 now to 35 on. So this is the beginning of our tier or trend betting on that 5. So we went from 15 to 25 to 35. That 35 obviously pays out $50 for a $1 return back to the bank. But we're going to make that 5 now. We're going to drop a quarter. We're going to make that 5 look like $60. So if that 60 wins, obviously that pays out $70. But we're going to go from $60 to $90 on the next bet. So we're going to go to $90 on the next level. So if that 90 wins now, the next level is going to be 120. So the next level betting on the 5 would be 120. Okay, and that's the end of tier number 1 for the 5 and 9. Now we're going to go to the next level, the next tier of our trend betting. So remember, tier 1 started off at $15, went from 15 to 25 to 35 to 60 to 90 to 120. Tier 2 is going to be 150. So just the 15 at the start of tier 1, add a 0, it's 150. So our next bet is going to be $150 on that 5. If that 150 wins, the next level is going to be 250. Okay, if that 250 wins, the next level is going to be 350. And all we're doing is we're repeating tier level number 1, but we're adding a 0 to the end. If that 350 wins, remember my table max at my local casino is $500. So it's going to be a $500 bet. Okay, if that 500 wins, my next level is going to be 600. If that 600 wins, the next level is going to be 900. So hopefully you guys are getting the idea of how the trend betting works according to the Crapsmaster Journey tier level. So then 900 wins, next bet's going to be 1200. And this is the end of tier number 2. Now to go to tier number 3, all we do is we go back to the beginning and add 2 zeros. So if that 1200 wins, remember tier 1 started off at 15, so we're just going to go from 1200 to 1500. We're adding 2 zeros to the end of that for tier 1 level. So hopefully you guys kind of get the idea how that works. Let's clean this up again, and let's show you how that 4 and 10 works. Finally, with the 4 and 10, again, we're starting off with a $15 table, and we're on tier 1 of the Crapsmaster Journey trend betting system. So it's $15 on that 4. Remember that if the bet on the 4 is less than $20, it's only a place bet, not a buy bet. The place bets will pay out $9 for every $5 that's bet. So this $15 bet here will pay out $28. Okay. Once we get above $20 on that 4, we actually make it a buy bet. And this is where VIGs come in. The casino that I play at charges the VIG up front. It's going to charge $1 for every $20 that you bet on that 4 or that 10. In this video, we're not going to do VIGs for the simplicity of showing you the bet progressions. Okay, so we start off with $15 on that 4. That pays out $28. Our next level is going to be $25 on that 4. If that $25 wins, we get paid out $50. And all we're doing is we're swapping out what we win for what was on there. So we're going to put that $50 on there. If that 50 wins, it pays out $100.
we're going to take that 50 off, we'll put the 100 on there. If that 100 wins, it pays out 200. So we're going to take that 100 off, put the 200 on. If that 200 wins, we get paid out 400. We'll take the 200 off, put the 400 on here. Again, this is where table maximum comes into play. That 400 wins is obviously going to pay out 800, but we're going to go with our next bet of 500 because that's our table max. Now, if you're at a table that pays out more than that, we can take that 500 and make it a $1,000 win. We're just going to swap the $1,000 in. We'll go tier to level 2. $500 comes back. We start at 1,000. If that 1,000 pays out, that pays out 2,000. We'll take the 1,000 off, put 2,000 on the table. So hopefully you guys get the idea of how the trend betting system works. So in the Level Up program, like I said, trend betting is a very vital part of how we bet at the craps table. And we go through the tier system. Now in future videos, remember this is only the first video on trend betting and explaining how the Level Up program and system works. But in future videos, we're going to talk about how to do your trend betting patterns, but use it to do bet recovery. So in other words, if you've lost for a couple shooters, how can you get some of our money back a little bit faster? I'm going to show you a couple of different strategies that you can use to get into the trend betting system. We're going to also show you strategies and ways to use that trend betting to be very progressive in your betting. So in other words, being very aggressive and bringing back that money faster, as well as putting money up faster on the table and becoming, putting yourself in that position where you can actually benefit off of that medium to long roll at the craps table. So hopefully guys, look forward to some of the videos that are coming up in the future. And I'm excited to show you guys how I'm doing this. I want to put everything into black and white. I want to make everything very clear that if this happens, this is what you do. And I'm working a little bit with Alfredo from Texas Craps Shooters. So if you haven't checked out his channel, make sure that you go out and subscribe. Check his videos out, like them. He does a variety of different things on shooting at dice, betting at the craps table, talking about his casino trips, you know, a whole variety of different things. And his goal, like my goal, is to build the craps community. If you like this video, make sure that you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. But anyhow, until next time, hey, my name is Joe. This is my Craps Master dice shooting and Craps Master journey.